All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I have finished my black wire, and now I am going to add the paper mache on top. So you see that I am over at the paper mache corner. I have gone through the bin and picked out the colors that I'm going to use. Now this is another point where you're going to have to think about your message. Since my message is about diving and diving into water, I have chosen kind of the cool colors, the purples and the blues. You want to make sure you don't pull out too many of these. You want to pick about as many as you're going to have time to do, because once you get, and I might even pull some of these to the side, so they're kind of in different piles. Once you get some glue on any of these, you're not going to be able to use them if you don't use them immediately. So you want to make sure you're not wasting the tissue paper. Then you'll notice I have a bowl here. The bowl has a little bit of the paste in it. I didn't put too much in because I didn't want to waste it. So what you're going to do is one finger in, and you're going to lightly paint the glue on top. Now the tissue paper is kind of really super wet, so you want to carefully, see, that one ripped a little bit, so let's try this again. So I'm going to dab it into the glue, lay it onto my body. You want to start with kind of big spaces. So I'm going to dab it into the glue, lay it onto my body. Start with big spaces like your body, and then see how I'm attaching one piece to the other. They're going to stick better to each other than they are to the wire. And I'm kind of alternating colors so that it looks kind of like a... Now, if you want to do yours just one color, you can. But I kind of want mine to look like a mosaic. And realize where they overlap each other, they are going to, because it's translucent, it's going to show through. It should, once it dries as well, show through your wire, which is going to look pretty cool. So, I'm just kind of attaching one at a time. See how very little glue I'm using. I'm trying to use the least amount of glue possible. So that the tissue paper doesn't fall apart. So very carefully, keep setting in. Once you've got one layer on, if you want to put a second layer on to strengthen it a little bit more, you can. You can just use the glue that's on your fingers for that and kind of smooth it out if you need to do that for some areas to make it stick. So you kind of want to move this around so that you're using gravity to help you. Barely putting any glue on these. So I'm using the glue from my fingers to just paint it on. I'm using gravity to help me. If I had this thing standing up right now, the tissue paper would want to come off. But see how I'm using gravity and I'm kind of turning my sculpture. And see how I put too much glue on that piece and now it's really hard to work with. So you just need to take your time. Work your way around your sculpture. Once you've kind of got it all the way around, you can connect the pieces to each other, which is going to strengthen them. So I'll show you here. So before you start turning it too much, you want to get all the space that's in that area or on that side. So I want to get this whole side here done before I start turning my sculpture too much. So a lot of this is trial and error and just kind of figure out what works for you. The tricks are don't use too much glue and kind of keep your your finger, keep your see how I have kind of wet fingers and I have dry fingers. So if I need to move something or touch something and not get glue on it. You do not want to stick your whole hands in this glue. That's going to make it a whole lot more difficult to work on. So those pieces keeps moving, so I'm going to stick another piece on top. And just take my finger and paint the glue on top very carefully. So, start putting paper mache. So go to a station. There should be a couple of stations set up for those people that are ready. You want to get this all done in one period. So you want to work as quickly as you can. And get your sculpture covered in paper mache.